So, I'm home. I was going to do some door dashing. Was going to do some Walmart sparking. I had one order in Walmart Spark that I could have done for $52, which wasn't too bad, and it was close to the areas that I could travel to. I mean, I think it was in Dexter, uh, Corinna, and Palmyra for $52. But it really depended on the items that the customer had. So, and depending if it would fit all in the Jeep. I mean, there was a lot of items, but anyways, so somehow I backed out. Like I backed out of the not the app, but I just kind of went back because I had another offer. Checked that offer, and then the $52 one that I had and was looking at, which was I was debating about, disappeared. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But I had to go stop over at Danforth. I had to pick up a few things, and yeah. So now I'm home. I had to come home, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. Because the cat was inside all day. She was outside most of the night last night, and I woke up this morning and I hollered for her and hollered for her and hollered for her. She never showed up. She didn't come running to the doors. I didn't know where she was. And of course, here I am. I'm worried about my cat. And I'm looking out the screen door to see if she's here because hold on. Usually she sits right here, wanting to come in or want to meow or whatever. Well, I kept looking. She wasn't there. Kept looking out the front door. She wasn't there. So by the time I'm almost ready to go to work and about to get ready for work, I put her food dish and her water outside on the front porch because it was going to rain and I didn't want to get it wet. All right. So I'm getting ready, and who do I see outside down on the doorstep but Oreo? I'm like, I hollered for you. Where the hell were you? She came inside. I fed her. She meowed, and I'm like, okay, it's going to rain, so you're safe. You're not going to be in the cold all day and wondering where the heck I am. So, yeah. Life of a cat dad. I'm a cat person. I'm not so much of a dog person, but I am a cat person. And what's funny is I know I'm going on a rant here. Well, what's funny is, sorry, I heard a truck start. I didn't know where it was coming from. I'm out back. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So it's funny because I'll go on like these gay dating app sites, and the app sites are okay, but what I don't like is the fact that if you want to get more involved with the app or the dating app, you have to pay a certain amount of money to get all the features. And it's like, whatever. And a lot of the guys that come across, like, they're not my type. They're way too old, or they're too young, or they're not, or they just look like creeps. Oh, there's Oreo. You go out the front door and you come around the trailer to come see me. I don't know about that cat. Anyways, so the point I'm trying to get at is, yeah, dating apps are expensive. It's hard to find somebody that you can connect with. But what's kind of a turn off for me is, don't get me wrong, I like dogs. I don't mind them. I'm not a dog person though. But if you have a dog, it's not going to work well because I have a cat. My cat doesn't like dogs. So if you have a dog and we're chatting, I mean, that's fine. You have a dog, but we're not going to work out because I have a cat and my cat doesn't like dogs. So it is what it is. So I'm still looking. I'm still looking for the right person to come into my life. But that's besides the point. I'm not going to go on a spat about that. So the other thing, too, is I got an email this afternoon, which I was kind of surprised because I thought I was not going to get this job after the first incident that I was a part of. So in the times of me worrying about money and where work cut back overtime. I was really worried, really scared, wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was running low on funds, and I had to stretch out my money to see how much I could, save up. Anyway, so about a month ago, I think, or maybe, yeah, about a month ago. See, this time last year, I applied for a job for the Postal Service. And I thought it was going to go great. I was going to work Saturdays, and I was going to work Saturdays um, and work the days that the carrier doesn't want to work. And then I was also I was informed that I can work at other post offices to do mail routes. But the problem with me is I don't know all the routes. It's going to take me a while to case up all the mail, and it's going to take me a while to sort the mail and sort the packages and get all the addresses in order, and it's going to take me a time, and I don't want to get behind. But they wanted me to use my Jeep, okay? And I thought, as I was doing the route or riding the route as a job shadow, I realized that a lot of the road that we were on was really rough and really rugged. And I thought, I don't really want to, put a lot of miles on my Jeep, and I don't really want to put a lot of wear and tear in the Jeep, But look what I'm doing now. I'm doing door dashing, and I'm doing Walmart Sparking. And I put on quite a few miles on the car already, in which, I don't know. And now I just got I got the back window fixed. That cost me $500. And then I had to have a tire replaced on my car, on the Jeep. So the window was $500. The tire was $60. I just called the Muffler King about what's the cost about replacing a wheel bearing, because the wheel bearing, I can hear it, and he said about $350. And I thought, okay, that's fine. I have the $350, but I'm going to have to probably save up a little bit more money than that, just in case. So I can afford that, and to get that replaced so I can continue doing door dashing or continue doing Walmart Sparking. But I'm already putting miles on it, and the reason why I do Walmart Sparking and door dashing originally, and the reason why I'm doing door dashing and Walmart Sparking is because, like I said, work cut back on overtime, and I was having a really hard time finding a part-time job. I reapplied to Walmart in Skowhegan, and I waited and I waited and I waited. I wasn't going to call them, but anyways, and I get an email about a month later, and the email said, your application is about to expire. Are you still interested in working for Walmart? And I reapplied and updated my application again, and about a month later again, I get an email, your application is about to expire, and I just ignored it. What's funny is when I originally left Walmart, it was because the first time I started working there, all of a sudden Puritan was doing overtime, and I wanted to work the overtime. I didn't really last long at Walmart. I was there probably not even a month. And so I left, and then once overtime was cut back again, I reapplied to Walmart, and I checked in on the application. They wanted me back, and I was looking forward to coming back. I left on a good note. I put my 2 weeks notice in, and I left on good terms. Well, this time last year, I didn't leave on good terms. I left. I didn't come back. I didn't call out. I was a no call, no show, and I was just like done. So in March, I wanted to come back, and so in March, I was told, well, I wasn't told in March, but I was told a couple of months before March, that to give them a call, because I was on I had so many points on me that by the time March came up, the points would be gone and I could be rehired on, and thinking about being rehired on, so I had to do an interview. Anyways, long story short, I didn't get the job. The coach that I talked to before quit, just up and quit. And it's like, wow, that was a surprise. That was a shocker. So anyways, so I never got the job with Walmart again, but these past few weeks, this past month has been really stressful because of my fact that I'm just financially strapped right now. So, but anyway, so yeah, back up what I was trying to say. So this time last year, I applied for a job for the Postal Service, and I took the job. And like I said before, I know I was going down a rabbit hole here, kind of backing up. So I applied for the Postal Service, got the job. I was going to sub for the guy here in Heartland on Saturdays. Had to use my car. I bought a conversion kit for about $1,000. I found out that the conversion kit, the mount for the steering wheel, didn't really quite fit on my steering wheel. So the clasps that I had weren't going fully around the steering wheel. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna suck. And I called up a mechanic who does work on postal vehicles, and I was gonna have him put in the conversion kit for me, but I wasn't sure how much that was gonna cost. So I got to the point where it was like, because I got a phone call from the postmaster in Pittsfield, and she's like, did you get your conversion kit put in yet? I'm like, no. There's a piece that won't fit on my steering wheel, and I wasn't being like pardon my French, I wasn't trying to be an asshole to her, but I was like, so I thought when I first saw you, I thought you were going to provide a truck, which I thought, okay, you're going to provide a truck. That's great. Awesome. But then she suggested that I get a conversion kit for the Jeep so that I can deliver mail on the right-hand side of the vehicle and go from there. So after our conversation on the phone, I was at work at Puritan. I got a sticker. At work. It was a blank sticker, like a blank label. And I wrote on there, sorry, no longer interested in the Postal Service. Sorry about this and whatever. So I was going to take my badge and put it in the outgoing mail at Pittsfield, but I saw the postmaster. And then I just decided to go to Heartland and just drop it there. And here's the reason why, okay? I previously worked for the Postal Service back in 2007 as a rural carrier associate. And I was a temp, okay? But they wanted me to be on full time. They wanted me to stay there as a regular RCA. But back then, I was causing a lot of problems. I wasn't doing the job that was expected of me to do. Secondly, I did not feel welcomed at the post office in Belfast. I was trying my best. I was trying to do what needed to be done. And then by the end of it, I was told that I was just there for a paycheck. I'm like, I'm not here for a paycheck. I like what I do. And then they're like, well, you're nothing but a headache. I think you were lying to us. And they accused me, or they said to me that I was a headache. They accused me of lying. They accused me of stealing packages. And I never felt welcomed there. And I was getting stressed out, and I was getting really bothered, and it's like, I don't want to work for you guys anymore. It wasn't because of the post office. It wasn't because I didn't like the post office. It was because the supervisor was being a real jerk. I was going to say another word, but I'm not going to do it. But the supervisor was being really hard on me. Really, really hard. And the postmaster at the time was getting complaints from customers on my route, was getting complaints, and I was talked to a lot. I was brought in the office a lot, and it's like, okay, and I just left. That right there was a problem that I've had for a long time. And ever since I left the post office when they let me go, I was really angry and really upset about the fact that they let me go. And I held a grudge, and I was mad and upset about it for the past, say, I was let go in 2008. So from 2008 to probably to last year, when I got the job with Postal Service, I was just mad and upset. I really wanted to get back to the Postal Service. I wanted to sort mail. I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to deliver mail. I wanted to be out there in the community. And, even, when I was working for the LC Dill Center in Skowhegan, my obsession about working for the post office was still, in my head. And so I applied, and I got a call, but I was too scared to jump on the boat of going with the Postal Service and quitting LC Dill Center and work for the post office. And any time I went to the post office, either in Skowhegan or Pittsfield or Heartland, it's like, I'm saying to myself, I wish I could get a job with the post office. But I always had a hard time getting through the assessment, and I always had a hard time, no, I was really having a hard time going through the assessment. The assessment was really hard. So, anyways, so getting done at the post office when they let me go created a lot of stress and PTSD. So, kind of going down a rabbit hole here. No, back up. I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole. So I reapplied about a month ago. I reapplied to the Postal Service again and sent in my application. And about a few weeks later, I get an email about my driving record. So they wanted to know my driving record. So I put my information in. And I never heard anything back from that email for a couple of weeks. So I just thought that my name was on a list of no hire, do not hire. So today I got the email saying that they are offering me the job as not an RCA, but an ARC, which is an assistant rural carrier. I'm hoping that they'll be able to let me use a truck. And on top of that, I wasn't sure where I applied to. I wasn't sure if it was in Newport, because I remember I applied in Newport, but instead it was Skowhegan. And I'm like, oh, it's Skowhegan. All right, that's fine. I can work in Skowhegan. That's not a big deal. I worked in Skowhegan before. I know the area. So the ARC, the ARC position, as I read, it is basically, I'm going to be delivering packages and possibly mail on Sundays and on the holidays of the year, and work on the days that I need to assist the rural carrier on their route. So whether it be delivering packages, delivering mail, whatever it is, I'm going to do it. And the pay is like $21 an hour. So if I can work full-time as an ARC, get paid $21 an hour, I'm going to probably be leaving Puritan if I get full-time with the Postal Service. Because it's been how do I want to say it? It's been my livelong dream about working for the Postal Service. I've always wanted to. I've always been interested in delivering and being in logistics. I've always wanted to do that ever since I was a kid. Ever since that I saw my rural carrier doing the mail, I was like, I really want to do that. But, and I tried to apply for FedEx. I tried to apply for UPS. Nothing really seemed to work. So I was going to work for UPS, but as a warehouse, warehouse package handler. And I just decided, no, I'm not going to do that, because that time you'd have to be at work early in the morning, and it would be in Waterville. So yeah, sorry, I get distracted. There's people down there by the house. So anyways, and I applied for FedEx, and I got the interview, And on top of that, they were going to pay me $18 an hour. $18 an hour to deliver packages. And I would have to drive all the way to Herman to go deliver packages. All the way to Herman. And I thought to myself, well, one thing, I'm not going to want to drive 30 to 45 minutes out of my way to go work at FedEx for $18 an hour plus overtime. Currently right now I make more at Puritan than I would at FedEx. And if they paid a little bit more, like $20, $21 an hour, I probably would have gone for it. And of course I got thinking, I don't really want to travel in the snowstorm. I don't really want to have to go into work in a snowstorm and get stuck. I'm not good with driving in snow. I just don't like it. So I decided, yeah, that's not going to be a no-go. So anyways, but I'm going back to the Postal Service. It's $21 something an hour. If I can get full-time, that would be great. I know, and I find it funny, this time last year I applied for the Postal Service, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, and never really happened, and then I got rehired back at Puritan. I'm thankful that they hired me back on, so it's really good. But the other thing too, Puritan in a snowstorm, it only takes me 10 to 15 minutes to drive from where I live to Puritan. And if it's snowing out and it's a snowstorm outside and it's really bad, I know I can make it to work safely and not have to travel so far to work. Of course, I got my Jeep too. So anyways, so I got groceries in the car. I got to bring in. I need something to drink. I might go door dashing. I might not. Or Walmart Sparking. There's a lot of offers, but I wasn't going to do those offers because there's one offer going to Heartland, and there's one order going to Heartland, and there was another order going to Burnham. There's one order going to Unity, and the other order was going to Thorndike. And I mean, this app, Walmart Spark, brings you everywhere, and it shows you the mileage of how far you have to drive. One was 17 miles, and they wanted me to go to Dover Foxcroft, which is 21 miles, and that's about a 30-minute drive from where I live. 30-minute drive from where I live. 30 to 35. And I was like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to deliver one item. I think it was one item to Dover Foxcroft. And I thought to myself, that's just a waste of gas and it's a waste of time. And the offer was really low. I mean, it was like $23 for that, and I wasn't going to do it. Not at that rate. And there was one order, like I said before, there was one order I was going to do, but I backed out and it disappeared. So, all right, I'm going to let you go. It's been like 23 minutes into this. I know I ramble on. Yesterday, I was going to do a video. And every time I try to do the video, I would always go 5 minutes in, stop it, and re-record. Do another 5 minutes in, stop it, and then re-record. And then I get frustrated. And I was doing this since I got home yesterday. It was about 3:15 or so. Wanted to do a video, and I just couldn't. I spent an hour and a half trying to do a video for you guys, and I just couldn't. There was so much I wanted to talk about, and there is some stuff I do want to talk about. I've been thinking a lot. I had another therapy session in my head, which it was really deep. Let's just say that. It was a really deep therapy session in my head, and it really, I felt very compelled. Let's just say that. So, and I'm looking forward to my next therapy session with my therapist and talk to her about everything. So, life of being mentally ill. That's it. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.